Okay, hopefully you all can hear me. I am checking on the live stream that's back there in the rear view mirror. And I can see there's a reflection in the back here. Interesting. All right, hopefully you all can hear me. Hopefully you all will be able to hear the radio. Yep, I can hear myself. So, all right. And I'm going to go ahead and check in Ken, KQ4DIJ, who's all the way up in Delaware, Ohio tonight. And hopefully he's doing well. So, let's see, I will check him in via the live stream. So we have a chat on the live stream. Be sure to listen in on that. Real quick, let me make sure I'm sounding okay. All right, so now we will get things going here. Tonight we are talking about nighttime tornadoes, and I found a few interesting facts about that. And Tennessee is really a hot spot for nighttime tornadoes. So definitely a very interesting factoid there. Also, we're going to talk about preparation for having a power outage if you get hit by a severe thunderstorm. It kind of falls back to the previous nets we've done. I did one last month, and I did a discussion on this, I think, first of the year, January, or something like that, where we talk about preparation for long-term outages like during winter storms. Same kind of rules apply here. We're going to touch on it lightly. Hopefully I'm not going to go into too long of a long-winded discussion about it, me being long-winded. But we will see how that goes. Sorry, just applying a little bit of medication to a cold sore. We were not on last week because it was Easter Sunday, and it was requested that we postpone the net about a week. So I have done that. And hopefully everyone had a great Easter. And I was on the air at my mother-in-law's house. We were up there for Easter, and I got on the air and was chasing around parks on the air. There was a bunch of park on the air stations that were active for Easter Sunday. So did a lot of hunting of the parks on the air stations. So did that. Then on Thursday, I went to the Manhattan Project National Historical Park out in Oak Ridge and operated POTA with another park operator who was visiting the area, Kurt, KB9RTO. So we got on the air together and did a dual operation. Technically my second one. The first time was when me and some of the coordinators with SKYWARN, District 5, got together at Foothills Parkway and did a park on the air operation from the picnic area. So definitely been doing POTA stuff over the last several weeks and months. Some of you may have seen some of my videos on Simplex Saturdays. That's now done and over with. It ended in March. There was supposed to be a prize given out. I've never heard if there was a prize awarded. I'll have to check with Tara about that. I gotta hold them to the fire on that one. But let's see here. The repeater is 146.940. And real quick, let me check and make sure that the tone is off. Yeah, tone is off. Repeater. Hopefully you heard that. Let me check and see how it sounded on the audio. Okay, yeah. sounds good. Sounds awesome. We sound amazing. We sound incredible. You're amazing. You're incredible. And you're good enough and smart enough, and doggone it, people like you. All right, so we're going to do some... sorry about that. Thank you, John. Got him on the fricassee for the live chat racker. I'm sure John will check in for the net as well. So got you in there. Let's see. Ken KQ4DIJ, are you in Delaware County as well? I know you're in Delaware, Ohio. Is it called Delaware County? I can't remember. Let's see. You gonna log that Kerchunk? I'm sure you could log a bunch of things to QRZ. I've been doing a lot of POTA and uploading a lot of logs up there to the QRZ page. So it's actually pretty fun. The Parks on the Air stuff. So yesterday I was at Norris Dam State Park, and I did a video on it, which went live today. And the spool antenna that I used, it took forever to get that thing into the tree, and not the spool antenna's fault. It was just what I was trying to do. Using a hockey puck, I drilled a hole through and just swinging it, trying to get it up into the trees. And that was an adventure. So one of the things you didn't see, you might have heard some people in the background if you watched the video. There was a family that came up to the picnic area, sat down, ate dinner or ate lunch or whatever, and then got up and left. That all while I was trying to get that rope into the tree in the correct orientation. So that's how long it took for me to get that wire hoisted up into the tree. Yeah, we're early. I try to get on early, a few minutes before the net, so that make sure everything's up and running for the live stream. So let's go over here. We'll go to the logins. If you want to check in via the live chat, you're more than welcome to do so. If you want to listen in on Broadcastify, if you have to leave for whatever reason, the link is it's a bit.ly link, and I've got it goes on the little crawler there. You'll see it here in a second. There's a shortened bit.ly link if you need to go to Broadcastify, but you can go to Broadcastify and search for WB4GBI, and you will find that live stream. And it is a little bit laggy. Like, I think the last time I checked it, it was like almost 2 minutes behind. But that's just basically how the streaming is. The repeater goes out, it's picked up by the scanner, by the receiving radio, and then it's encoded into Broadcastify, and then it goes out over the air on Broadcastify's stream, however long they do it. So I mean, for them it could be a couple of minutes. I don't know. I know that there's probably about a 20 to 30 second delay between me being live here and being on the YouTube stream. So give me just a quick second. Have some refreshing beverage while we get ready to go. So anyway, I hope everybody has a great evening. We're about 5 seconds away. We'll get this going. If there's any issues, let me know in the stream. Like I said, if you want to check in, give me your call sign if you have one. If you don't, just let me know that you don't have a call sign. I'll check you in. Attention all stations. Attention all stations. This is K4HSM, Greg, assuming net control. as WX4TYS in Knoxville for the East Tennessee SKYWARN training net on the 146.940 repeater. All traffic will be directed via net control. This net is open to anyone and everyone. Tonight's net will consist of some announcements and a brief training segment. A couple of brief training segments, as a matter of fact, a couple of subjects here. We will take check-ins throughout the net. At this time, I'm going to take any check-ins from any SKYWARN coordinators on our frequency, either with District 5 or other districts, or any liaisons in SKYWARN. If there are any, please check in now, and we'll put you in the log.
This is
Uh-oh, somebody's on Simplex.
This is Kilo 4 Tango Yankee Sierra K42IS Eddie and Powell.
Got you in there, Eddie. Sounded like you were trying to check in on Simplex, but we got you in there. Real quick, do you have any announcements or anything like that?
No, nothing from me tonight, Greg. Thanks. Yeah, I hit the wrong button, so I should be in the repeater now.
Oh, yeah, you sound loud and clear. So thanks, Eddie, and we appreciate it. Any other liaisons or net controls or coordinators for SKYWARN? If so, call now. And if you do, let me know if you have an announcement. I know that Eric's going to miss this at some point. I got to do it every time. Okay, nothing heard. We do have some announcements that we're going to run through here. For those who may already be aware, Nashville's National Weather Service office in OHX, Old Hickory, they're doing some Weather 101 classes for the next couple of months. This week is a pretty busy week. They've got classes every day except for Friday. Tomorrow at 7 o'clock Central Time, 8 o'clock Eastern, they're going to be doing a Weather 101 on flash flooding. On Tuesday at 7 Central, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern, they're going to be doing one on rip currents. Wednesday, April 15th at 11 a.m. Eastern will be a Weather 101 seminar on global circulations. We kind of talked a bit about it on the previous net, where we talked about wind. We talked a little bit about the trade winds and such. This kind of goes into the circulations of wind across the earth. That's a pretty fascinating one. That's at 10 a.m. Central, 11 a.m. Eastern on Wednesday. And Thursday at 10 a.m. Central, 11 Eastern will be a topic that we don't get a lot of here. But if you go to the beach, you might be interested in tsunamis. They will talk about that. So this is some of the different subjects that they offer. These are kind of in the advanced spotter training in some degree. These are just kind of hyper-focused on these particular subjects. They have a wide variety of subjects. They talk about what quasi-linear convective systems. They'll talk about the basics. They'll talk about winter weather. They'll talk about fire weather. There's many different subjects that they have. And if you go to weather.gov/OHX, that's Oscar Hotel X-ray /weather 101, all one word, then you can go there and see the list of all of the different Weather 101 classes coming up, and you can subscribe. You'll register for these classes using GoToMeeting, and they last about an hour, and you can use GoToMeeting. It's a little plug-in that goes on your browser or on your phone, and you can use that to interact with the host of the meeting. So just an advisory, although we're not seeing any possibilities this week, but there is the potential that these classes may be canceled due to weather or other issues. They've had a couple of those where the classes were preempted. But this week the weather looks a little bit calm, so knock on wood. we'll hope that it stays that way. But you can register for these Weather 101 classes. You can go for as many as you want. They are free to attend. And like I said, you get a little plugin that's installed on your browser, which will be uninstalled when the meeting's over, or it should be at least. So any questions on any of that? This is WX4TYS standing by.
WB4GBI Repeater.
All right, nothing heard. Yep, check those out if you have time. Another announcement, the District 5 coordinator team got an addition a couple of months ago. Jeremy Buckles, WX4JLB, is now an assistant district coordinator with District 5. He's joining myself, Josh, AA4WX, and Jordan, NA4WX, as assistants. My nose itching. It always happens. Many of you may know Jeremy from when he worked as a meteorologist with the Weather Service office in Morristown. He is now working in Oak Ridge, doing meteorology work for one of the agencies out there. I think it's ORNL. Y12 or ORNL, I can't remember if they're both the same or not. But he's out there in Oak Ridge doing meteorology work for them, so hopefully he'll have some time and he'll be able to help us out on some of these severe weather situations. And it's good to have a meteorologist with the team. And if you're interested in joining District 5 as an assistant coordinator, we are looking for coordinators for all of our counties in District 5. Knox and Blount County are pretty much well represented, but we're also looking for people who would like to join us from Anderson, Campbell, Union, and Loudoun counties. These are all counties under the District 5 umbrella. So if you're interested in joining, send me a email. It's Greg K4HSM, and that's at my Gmail address. GREG letter K number 4 HSM, Kilo 4 Hotel Sierra Mike. So if you're interested, just basically your only responsibilities are just basically making sure that SKYWARN is well represented in your county. So it's an easy job, and it pays well. All right, with that, one final announcement before we get to the check-ins here. There's going to be a Ham Fest next Saturday. It's going to be the Greenville Ham Fest in Greenville, Tennessee. It's up on Fairgrounds Road in Greenville on your way to Tri-Cities. It's from 7 a.m. until whenever. The grand prizes is going to be drawn at noon. And the inside, I think the 7 a.m. is for the boneyard, and the inside area opens at 7:30 a.m. They'll have set up Friday afternoon at 3 o'clock, both inside and outside. Some people do set up on the outside for some of their stuff. So if you need to do that, you can go there at 3 o'clock Eastern on Friday afternoon. And if you're taking exams to get your license or to upgrade your license, they ask that you pre-register. You can go to their website at greenvillehamfest.com. That's Greenville, that's Greene, Ville, green with an E, Ville, hamfest.com. And there is a link on the sidebar about the CAVEC exam link. There's a link, CAVEC, I guess is how you would pronounce it, but Charlie Alpha Victor Echo Charlie. That's who coordinates the exams. Sign up and register there, and go take your test and get licensed or get upgraded. And again, this is all this coming Saturday, April the 18th. We hope to see you there. And with that, this is K4HSM WX4TYS. If there's any other announcements, please check in now. All right, nothing heard. At this time, we'll start taking check-ins. When you do check in, please check in one at a time and give your call sign phonetically. International phonetics are preferred. Also, give me your name and location, and if you can, if you know, give me your county. If you don't know your county, don't worry. We will we'll figure it out. But again, check-ins one at a time. Call sign phonetically, followed by your name and location and your county. This is WX4TYS standing by.
This is Alpha 4 Oscar Lima, John, 3.5 miles south of Maryville, AA4OL. Blunt County, AA4OL.
Acknowledging John, AA4OL in Blunt County, Maryville. Thank you, sir, and we appreciate it. Next check-in, please.
Kilo Romeo 4, Hotel Charlie Bravo, JW, Knox County.
Acknowledging Kilo Romeo 4, HCB, JW in Knoxville, I guess. You are Knox County, so we'll take that. Thank you, sir, and we appreciate it. Next check-in.
Kilo Oscar 4, Juliet Charlie Lima, Jeff in Knox County.
Acknowledging Kilo Oscar 4, Juliet Charlie Lima, KO4JCL Jeff in Knoxville, Knox County. Thank you for checking in. Is Mike with you by chance?
That's a negative. We'll be visiting him in about a week and a half.
Darn. I was hoping he'd still be here. But, well, it was good to meet him at the Ham Fest up in Sevierville a couple of weeks back. So, definitely good to put a face with the name. So, tell him we said hello and that we're thinking about him.
Absolutely. They'll be back in June. So, we'll catch up then.
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to get together, let me know. I appreciate it. All right. Thanks, Jeff. Next check-in, please.
Whiskey 4, Delta Echo Charlie, Dan, Knoxville, Knox County. Whiskey 4, Delta Echo Charlie.
Acknowledging Whiskey 4, Delta Echo Charlie. Got you in there, Dan. And thank you for checking in tonight. Hope you're doing well. Thanks again. Next check-in, please.
Hey, Greg, it's Kevin. Kilo 4, Mike, Charlie Kilo. Howdy, neighbor.
And hello. Yeah, we were up at Klingman's Dome area last Tuesday, and I was looking for you at the little pull-off, but I figured you were probably not able to be up there taking a hike. So, but good to hear you tonight. I hope you're doing well.
Yep, everything's good. No hiking this weekend. Had some other things going on, including the marathon today. So, hopefully soon to get back up there. K4 MC game.
Now, Roger, real quick, how did the marathon go?
I thought it went really well. I understand they had a near record number of participants. Lloyd organized it on behalf of Knox Aries and Meters, and he did a great job getting it organized, and had lots of help from other amateurs in the county and from other counties that came in to help us. So it was well staffed and sounded real good to me.
That's awesome. That's great to hear. I'm glad that everything worked out well. So hopefully it is a good omen for next year. So anyway, thanks again, Kevin, and great to hear you. Next check-in, please. This is WX4TYS, East Tennessee SKYWARN District 5 Training Net. Anyone, everyone. Okay, we'll take a pause right there. So I did a quick poll. Well, not a quick one, but I did a poll on the Facebook page a few a couple of weeks back asking for ideas for what to do for the training net tonight. There was a close one between two different options. One was how to prepare for power outages after a thunderstorm. And the next one was nighttime tornado risks. So, and despite the option for me taking a shot on the live stream whenever someone checks into the net, I figured I'd stay sober tonight. But we figured we'd get these two since they were pretty much neck and neck. And we're going to talk about the power outage discussion first. It's been discussed on previous nets, even recently, mainly for winter weather, and a lot of that applies to summer weather and thunderstorm weather. But there are times when thunderstorms can knock out power for hours or days at a time. So here's some of the things that you can do to prepare for that. I'll just glance over it real quick since it's been discussed in previous nets.
WB4GBI
my nose.
Repeater.
Itchy nose, itchy nose. All right. So one of the things I've talked about previously is stocking up on water. You should have at least a gallon of water per person per day for long-term power outages. And a lot of recommendations are to prepare for at least 72 hours of no services. Something I've discussed in, again, previous nets. Also, have an allocation of water for your pets, cats, dogs, chickens, goats, cows, farm animals, whatever. If you have pets that, I don't know if you need water for fish, but, I would assume they would need it naturally. But distilled water is preferred. It seems to last a little bit longer than if you had spring water or filtered water. But distilled water, and it also works for some of the devices. Like I have a CPAP, and my mother has an oxygen concentrator that can also incorporate distilled water for her sinuses. So yeah, a gallon of water per person per day for at least 3 days, preferably distilled water. You should also have some non-perishable items like canned foods. And if you have canned foods, make sure you have a manual can opener. Because if you have a power outage, the electric can opener is not going to work. It's a good idea to keep your fridge and freezers all closed as much as possible. Now this one here, this was a suggestion that I got off of a couple of websites like ready.gov and such. I'm a little sketched about it. Maybe if someone has a comment about it, they're more than welcome to let me know. It talks about freezing water in a freezer and putting it into empty spaces in your freezer to keep the items colder longer. And of course, if you freeze water, if you freeze the water in a bottle that hasn't been opened, then chances are that bottle could explode or rupture. And if it's in a glass container or a plastic container. So my suggestion would be to at least drain a quarter of the water out of the container before you try and put it into a freezer. But again, I am a little sketch on that. It's probably best to get those portable freezer packs that you can get for camping and use those to help keep items colder a lot longer. Prior to the storm, the next thing that you should do is to fill your tub up with water so that you can have some water to use for hygiene purposes. You can fill up the tub with water, and then if the power does go out, you have at least a reservoir of water. That's a quick thing to do, especially if you don't have enough bottled water available for everybody in the house. You have guests that come in from out of town, or you have unexpected issues that come up that require a little bit more water than necessary. fill up the tub before the storm, so you'll have a reservoir handy. I don't know why my nose is itching. It's killing me. Of course, power sources. You should have a spare set of batteries for all flashlights and electronic devices, such as your laptop and smartphones. Smartphones these days don't have spare batteries, but you do have battery packs and portable chargers. They have these solar power battery packs that you can use. Of course, some of you know I have a battery box that has a 50 amp hour lithium iron phosphate in it that I use for my Parks on the Air operations. I actually used it at the Sevierville Hamfest to power the HD TV that I was using as a monitor for my SKYWARN presentation during that Hamfest. And you should charge all of your electronic devices in advance. Make sure everything is powered up before the storms. We do preach about this sometimes when we're doing code yellows on our SKYWARN nets. As we know that severe weather is approaching, we tell you to charge all your devices, make sure that all your pets are taken care of, etc., etc. These things do come into play when preparing for a storm, and we say it to help you prepare for the possibility of a long-term outage. A couple of last things here as far as the preparatory stuff. Have a plan to contact your family, neighbors, and loved ones, or other points of contact in case of an emergency. Make sure you have a way to contact them. Don't be completely relying on cell phones. One of the latest and greatest inventions is Meshtastic and Mesh Core. That's really taken off here in East Tennessee, especially the Mesh Core. If you're interested in that, there's some resources online. It's off-the-grid communications and has been pretty popular over the last several weeks and months here in East Tennessee. So you can use that as an alternate means of communication. You should have a plan for outages for family members with medical needs. For example, my mother, as I've preached time again, as said time again, she's on oxygen, so we actually had an incident where a few weeks ago we had a storm. She was staying at my brother's house, and the storm knocked out power for an extended about 10 to 15 hours, so we had to bring her back to my house in order so that she had power sources for her oxygen needs. Real quick before I continue on with discussion, any questions or comments about anything I've read off so far or discussed? K4HSM, WX4TYS.
K4MCK.
Yeah, go ahead, Kevin.
Yep. I wouldn't trust any of my bathtubs to not leak. So I think if you're going to be relying on bathtub water for flushing the toilet or whatever, I do believe they sell some essentially big body bags that you can use in the tub in order to actually keep the water from draining out. Back to you, K4MCK.
Good idea. Thank you for that. Good point there. Way to keep the water in the tub. So, yeah, we actually had an issue with that with my bathtub earlier this week. So, nice $250 bill down the drain there, literally down the drain. So, anyway, any others? K4HSM, WX4TY, standing by.
KQ4QCJ.
KQ4QCJ, how's it going?
Pretty good, Greg. Hopefully you're doing well as well. But comment on the freezing water in your freezer. I'm with you. Definitely use something and leave the headspace. But note on that, if you use a bowl or a jar, whatever you use, you can put a quarter or a penny on top of that after it's frozen and especially if you have to leave the house to go safety to somewhere else, or if you're just taking a trip, not weather related at all. Come back, if that coin is in the bottom, it means that everything has thawed out and refrozen, and you might need to worry about food safety. But anyway, go ahead and check me in. Caleb in Monroe County. KQ4QCJ, back to net.
Ah, good point. I didn't even think about that there. That's interesting. Something to think about when you're on a long-term vacation. So, okay. Appreciate that. Real quick, any other comments or ideas? K4HSM. Sorry, if anybody's made any comments in the chat. Okay. Okay, nothing heard. Is there somebody trying to check in? We'll stand by. Itchy nose, itchy nose. Eeh, itchy nose, itchy nose. Ah, itchy nose.
Net control, this is KR4HCB. I just had a quick comment, but somebody keyed up and I wanted to see what they needed. I was just going to say, I keep one of those military plastic 5-gallon jerry cans around for some water. That's what it's intended for. And I just try and keep a little bit of water around in case any situation arises.
Yeah, that's a good suggestion. I have a couple of them for my aquarium where I use them for aquarium water. But yeah, I can use those as well for water storage and use those for like flushing the toilet and things like that. So definitely a good suggestion on that end. I can't remember how much it costs for those 5-gallon buckets, but you can get them at your big box stores, and I'm sure you can get them online. I got mine at an aquarium supply shop. So it's and they're these big. The ones I got, they're these big square shaped ones that you can actually stack them. I wouldn't stack too many of them, but like 2 or 3, you could probably do that. But I wouldn't go any higher than that.
WB.
God, my nose. God, my nose. Nose.
Repeater.
Nose. My nose knows something.
Yeah, roger that. The one I was talking about is actual jerry can, but for water. So they kind of hide well in a corner or whatever.
Oh, okay, jerry can.
They got nice handles for carrying around and whatnot. KR4HCB.
Oh, okay. I know which one you're talking about now. But yeah, those, slightly different, but yeah, same concept. All right. Thanks again. All right. Any other comments about what we discussed so far? K4HSM and WX4TYS and WX4TYS. Okay. With that, we'll continue on. Just a couple more things about this real quick. Some ideas that you can have for preparing for long-term power outages is to create like a go kit. Go kits. There's different kinds of go kits that have been discussed. There's radio go kits. There's medical go kits, et cetera, et cetera. So I would definitely have go kits ready, or some sort of a kit. Maybe in a suitcase or in a storage locker or something like that. A portable locker that has flashlights, batteries, medications, handheld radios, and a first aid kit, something like that, or a combination of, so that you have the supplies needed, and you put it in a cool, dry spot somewhere in your house that's considered pretty safe. Like the center part of your home, in a basement, or even in a storm cellar if you have them. Itchy nose. With radio such, like ham radio, have a radio plan for when power is out and you need to contact someone, like what I mentioned earlier. Have HTs at the ready. You can get on a nearby repeater, and you can consider Meshtastic, Mesh Core as alternate means of communication. Like I said, don't want to rely 100% on cellular if cellular does go down, which can happen in a widespread power outage. And I know some of these training nets get a little repetitive about some of this stuff. The idea is to prepare for the worst, but yet hope for the best. I'd rather folks be mad that we're over-prepared rather than regretful because you're under-prepared. So all these things about being prepared, and like I said, I have go kits, I have backpacks, I have storage. I have a closet where I keep water and baking needs, like flour and sugar, in the silver bags. That they're designed for the long-term storages. So it's better to be over prepared than not prepared at all. So if it sounds preachy, that's why. Can't stop itching my nose. One last thing is to talk about here is in being prepared is the use of generators. Now, I don't personally have a generator. I do have this battery box that I can use for a power outage that may go on longer than a couple of hours or so. But of course, if you have something that goes for several days, you may need a gas-powered generator. When you use these generators, you have to keep them outdoors. Don't put them in your house. Do not put them in your garage unless it's extremely ventilated and the garage door is open. Keep them outdoors, not indoors. Of course, the big reason is carbon monoxide poisoning. So it's like turning on your car in your garage before, and trying to warm it up before you open the garage door. Carbon monoxide poisoning could be a serious problem. You'll want to make sure it's secured to prevent theft. It's an ugly thought, but it does happen from time to time. I remember especially around the Y2K craze back in '99, generators were being stolen at record rates. So definitely, and there was one time here at my house about 10 years ago, we were without power for about 3 to 4 days, and this was the entire subdivision in this neighborhood, and for about 2 miles around, there was a lot of areas that didn't have power because one of the main lines got hit by I don't know if it was a tornado or a tree that came down from a high wind. I can't remember that exact event at the moment, but there were some people that had generators and they were chained up like Fort Knox. So definitely idea to keep them monitored and secured. Now, you should test your generators monthly. Some recommendations may have it a little bit like every 3 months or something like that. I would recommend testing it monthly for at least, powering it on for 5 or 10 minutes just to make sure that, everything's working and that the gas is going through, and, make sure everything is stable. You need to check your fuel regularly for water contamination, especially if you have it in an area that might be susceptible to leaking, like if you keep it in a barn or a storage shed that might have a leaky roof. It might be a good idea to make sure that you test it and make sure that there's no water in the fuel tank. You don't want to find out when it's too late.
Okay, 4MCK.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yep, regard to storing fuel, I would recommend never store fuel that contains ethanol. Ethanol attracts water. It'll take it right out of the moisture of the air, and you'll end up with that water mixed in with your fuel.
He jumped.
Spend a few extra cents per gallon and get the 100% gas if you're planning on storing it. K4MCK.
Yeah, you kind of jumped ahead of me there, but I actually got a question for you because there's something else that I wanted to, that was what I was researching here. The fuel can go stale, and they say to refill your fuel cans every 3 to 6 months. And you said, like you said, ethanol-free gas, it helps with that long-term storage. And they talk about storing it in a cool, dry place away from aeration, and I would keep it away from power sources or heat sources, of course. Power sources, because you don't want to spark from like a short circuit type situation to to set it off. But they talk about fuel stabilizers, Kevin, and it says something. I'm not familiar with the fuel stabilizers, but they say they extend the life, but to check your generator's manual or the manufacturer's recommendations for the best practices with these fuel stabilizers. Do you have any experience with those?
Negative, I don't. I would recommend just rotating your fuel. If you're going to store fuel, then every 2 or 3 months, just take it and dump it in your car when the car's empty, and then refill with fresh fuel for your storage. Case for it.
Yeah, Roger. That's kind of what I was leaning towards as well. Excuse me. And it says if you do use a stabilizer, then you should run the generator for 5 to 10 minutes to ensure that it circulates through the carburetor. But again, this is unfamiliar territory for me, so I'm asking anybody in the group here if they have any better experience with it. Let's see here. It's not a fix-all, the stabilizer stuff. It can't restore gasoline that's gone bad. Gasoline that's gone bad has turned sour or dark, is what it says here. I don't know about turning sour. I mean, I wouldn't taste gas, but you do you. Avoid over-treating. Don't add too much stabilizer. It can cause issues. And again, follow the manufacturer's recommended ratios for using stabilizer. But if there's anybody that's got any experience with stabilizers in that sense, or with generators in general, check in now. Call now. K4HSMWX4TY is standing by.
Net control. This is KR4HCB. I grew up in the Midwest, so we store a lot of different equipment for long periods of time because it may not get used. And I grew up using Stabil in particular. I know there's some other on the market. It really does make a difference, even in ethanol fuel. But I would definitely recommend it no matter what type of fuel you're running, as long as it's compatible.
Yeah, I'm unfortunately I'm just not very familiar with that stuff. I probably should have been when I had a gas powered lawnmower. My friend Ken up in Ohio is recommending Seafoam. Says he uses it in his lawnmower every 4 tankfuls. Anybody familiar with Seafoam?
WB4. Seafoam's great for cleaning fuel systems and whatnot, and I do believe they have a stabilizer, but I in general, don't think Seafoam works the same way as Stabil does. Stabil is actually a stabilizer for fuel, so it helps you get longer than that 3-month period, roughly, without varnish building up.
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks for that, and I appreciate the input on that. Any other comments or add-ons or corrections to anything I've read off today?
Kilo Yankee 4 Bravo Foxtrot.
Kilo Yankee 4 Bravo Foxtrot. Go ahead.
Yeah, good evening, and I wanted to add a little bit to your comment on bug out bags or go bags.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
I found that it's very nice to have a good quality case, Pelican or thereabouts, and have only your household financial items in there. So you want to focus on your insurance policies and driver's documents, title to your car, title to anything important, and you keep those in one case, and you'll find that you use it all year long. So as those new documents come
Okay, for HSM. Yeah, I have a fireproof safe that I use to keep my documents in, which is great to have. One little caveat to that: when you use it, if God forbid you have a fire and you have one of these fireproof safes, you shouldn't open it for at least 3 to 4 days after the fire, because the heat could have built up inside of this safe, and if you try to open it up and it's still hot in there, it could actually spark and catch on fire, and there goes your documents. So some other food to think about there as well. But thanks, Paul, for that. Anything else?
Well, I just I was trying to look at the concept of a fireproof bug out bag. So I don't know what it weighs or how long you want to carry it, but my little Pelican case here it floats, and I can easily take it as we travel.
Yeah. I can see where you're going. Yeah, with for mobile stuff. Yeah, that's definitely a good concept too. So, but yeah, thanks for that suggestion there. Anybody else? KO4JLK, how's it going?
Good evening. Thanks for doing that. Yeah, the field stabilizer and stable. It helps to they separation like over a long period, like over winter. So it helps definitely stay separation.
Awesome. Okay. Well, yeah. Thanks for that. And yeah, we're trying to get but like I said, I'm not familiar with the fuel stabilizers there, but definitely need to look at it if I'm going to be. I want to get a generator at some point. In fact, we almost got one about a couple of years ago when we were having an issue with a long-term power outage. But the problem was everybody else in the city decided they needed to have a generator at the same time as well. Because I think it was that same storm that dropped the tornado in near Cedar Bluff, near the Bob Kirby Road, I think, and did a lot of damage over there. I think it dropped a little bit of something over here, and it knocked a tree down into some power lines and knocked out power for about 2 to 3 days for us. And and they didn't call a tornado warning on that particular cell either, which a lot of people were upset about. But we were trying to see about getting a generator that time, and apparently there was a rush on them. So, but yeah, definitely need to consider that when investing in a generator. My nose is itching and I can't stop it. It's peeving me off. All right. Any other comments about what we discussed here before we head on to the next topic, WX4TYS? Okay, real quick. Is there any check-ins, any late check-ins? We'll take them at this time, WX4TYS.
KR4 GTE.
KR4 GTE, name and location real quick, please.
This is Jeffrey over in Seymour, Sevier County.
Okay, got you in Sevier County. Jeff, thank you much, and we appreciate it. Any other check-ins?
KR4IEO, that's Kilo Romeo 4, India Echo Oscar. This is Vince in Maryville, Blount County.
Yeah, good to hear you, Vince. Good to hear you today on Simplex. Did you make a lot of contacts?
I did. I finished with 13 contacts while I was out there.
Hey, that's pretty good. That's an official POTA, so definitely worth it. So congratulations, and hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you very much. I did. I had a really fun time out there.
Awesome to hear. All right, thanks, Vince. Any other late check-ins, or not late, but check-ins in the middle of the part here? Okay, nothing heard at this time. We'll come back to that here in just a few minutes.
Kilo 4, Whiskey November Delta. Can you copy, Greg?
Whiskey November Delta. Yep, got you in there. Name and location?
It's Johnny up here in Campbell County.
Okay, Johnny, got you in there, and thanks for checking in. All right, any others real quick?
Kilo Romeo 4, Echo Mike Kilo, Rick in Sullivan County, in and out.
Kilo Romeo 4, Echo Mike Kilo, Rick in Sullivan County. Got you in there, sir. Thank you much, and appreciate you checking in from Sullivan. Thanks again. Any others?
This is Kilo Romeo 4, Juliet, India, Quebec, Stephen in Scott County.
Acknowledging Kilo Romeo 4, Juliet, India, Quebec, JIQ, Stephen in Scott County. Is that is that correct?
Roger.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, sir. Thank you, Stephen. We appreciate you checking in from Scott County. Any others? Nose. Ken, do you really want this on your HD TV? Anyway. All right. Nothing heard. Okay, so we're going to get some more check-ins here at the end here when I get done. We'll talk about the next subject here, which is the nighttime tornadoes and the threat of those, and how prominent it is here, especially here in East Tennessee. When I was researching this, I found some information that was pretty surprising about this. So hopefully you'll find it interesting as well. But tornadoes that strike overnight, this is pretty obvious. It's gonna sound pretty obvious when you hear about it. But tornadoes that strike at night, they tend to be twice as likely to be deadly. And there's a few reasons. According to, now this is from information I got off of the Weather Channel, and there was a study from Villanova University that discussed a lot of this as well. But according to these sources, they found that the death rate from nighttime or nocturnal tornadoes is rising, especially in the South. And Villanova, they examined for about 140 years of tornado records and found that the fatalities had increased 20% from around 1880 to the year 2020. So about 140 years of record keeping here. You're going to, during this presentation, you're going to see that there's some different time ranges that are discussed. So they talk about, like in this one, from 1880 to the year 2020. Then you got one from 1950 to 2005, and then another one covering up to 2015. So some of these have a little bit archival data, or old data, but they found that 34% of all these tornado fatalities have occurred at night since 1880. And out of the 48,000 tornadoes that have occurred between 1950 and 2005 that were studied, 1 in 20 of these nighttime tornadoes resulted in at least one fatality, whereas 1 in 50 that occurred in the daytime resulted in a fatality of at least one person.
WB4GBI Repeater.
One of the biggest events that we had here in Tennessee was on March 3rd of 2020, where there was an EF4 tornado that occurred in the evening hours in Cookeville, Tennessee, between here and Nashville, between Knoxville and Nashville. Resulted in 19 deaths. And then there was an outbreak in 2021 from December the 10th through the 11th in the overnight hours. Went from northwest Tennessee up into Dyer County. I think it started in Dyer County. Traveled over 122 miles through northwest Tennessee into western Kentucky and then up into Ohio and Indiana. They got affected by this outbreak as well. 57 deaths were from that outbreak in the overnight hours. Two of the most notable ones that you'll remember from that outbreak were the Amazon distribution center in Illinois that resulted in 6 fatalities, and the candle factory that was in Mayfield, Kentucky, that got hit and resulted in 9 fatalities. So yeah, tornadoes do occur at night. They are more deadly. Why? Well, I think the big obvious reason is that you can't see them. You can see them if they're illuminated by lightning or by power flashes. And of course, by the time you're seeing a power flash, it's too late, because it's the reason of the power flash is most likely the winds from the tornado are knocking the power out. So it is considered pretty much too late at that point. Then, but there's a couple of other factors that may come into play here. Number one, people are most often asleep when these tornadoes may hit, and they may not hear the sirens, or they may not get the alerts on their phones. So when you have these tornadoes occurring in overnight hours, a lot of these fatalities occur from people who are in bed. Like if a tornado took a tree down and knocked the tree down into someone's house, you may find victims laying in bed where they never got up because they never woke up because of all the despite all the noise and chaos going outside, they slept right through it. And I'm sure many of us know someone that can sleep right through a tornado, and it does happen. It can also happen if these people are on medications that knock them out. So they may be dependent on sirens. There's a thing, meteorologist down in Alabama, James Spann. Many of you may know him. He's the one that wears the suspenders, and when he does live streams. One of the things he talked about at a conference recently was that the one thing people would often say when they are hit by a tornado, especially the ones that are at night, they say the same thing: I didn't hear the sirens. And down in Alabama, a lot of communities have tornado sirens, and a lot of them are becoming or have been becoming dependent on listening for sirens, to know to go take shelter. And you don't necessarily need to depend on that, because the sirens may be manually triggered by someone who may not be aware of how to use it, or may not think it's time to activate the sirens because they don't want to wake everybody up for a false alarm. The human factor comes into play sometimes when activating those tornado sirens. So another factor as well is that most of us, we work first shift, and some of us work second shift. We work during the day, and we are most often when we work and we are out in the field. Those of us that don't work from home, you may be in buildings that are larger and they're more structurally sound than your home. The buildings that you work in could be these brick structures, metal structures, tall buildings and such, and so they may be more stringent on codes, and they have storm shelters. A lot of them do, evacuation shelters for when a storm hits. Whereas your home may not have that kind of structural integrity. And this is especially true for those that live in mobile homes. There's very little structural integrity in a mobile home. And this is, like, especially in areas like Alabama and Mississippi and Oklahoma, the homes that were built before the stricter enforcement codes in tornado-prone areas like these states, the older homes may be more susceptible to damage and, may cause injury and fatal injuries if they're not up to code. So, how does this affect Tennessee? Or, how is Tennessee affected by these nighttime tornadoes? Tennessee is among 9 U.S. states where the highest percentage of tornadoes have occurred at night than most any other states in the country. And, we're talking states like West Virginia, Kentucky, Missouri, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. On average, 35% or more tornadoes occur at night in these states. And Tennessee is leading the pack with 46% of these tornadoes occurring at night. Now, this is based on studies, again, from a varying time range from 1950 to 2019. I wasn't able to get anything from the last 6-7 years before I came on the net, but safe to say it's probably still within that same percentile. But southeastern United States has the highest percentage of tornado fatalities at 40% compared to other regions when a tornado hits at night. Now, in a previous net, I did discuss this where Tennessee, Tennessee is basically 3 different regions. You have the West, the Middle, and the East. West Tennessee is kind of like the plains or, a lot of flat land. Then you have the plateau of Middle Tennessee. And then you have the valley and mountains of East Tennessee. So you got 3 different environments, 3 different climates. And so, Tennessee being a very elongated state, does have, different environments. And so it doesn't tell us of that 46% of nighttime tornadoes where a lot of them occurred. But I can tell you that West and Middle Tennessee get the brunt of a lot of the tornadoes before they come into East Tennessee. When do nighttime tornadoes occur throughout the year? We are in 2 of the busiest months for nighttime tornadoes, April and May. So in another study from a different time range, again from 1953 to 2015, there's been over 1,000 tornadoes occurring. Of all the documented tornadoes in that time range, there's over 1,000, almost 1,100 tornadoes in April and May. They're both basically side by side with tornadoes that occur at night. December, oddly enough, is the month with the fewest tornadoes. But again, that's the month that the outbreak occurred that I referred to earlier, where the Amazon distribution center and the candle factory in Kentucky were hit by tornadoes in December. December 10th through 11th of 2021. So just because it's a month that has the fewest nighttime tornadoes doesn't mean that you should let your guard down. And we're coming up on the top of the hour, so let me conclude with this. Staying prepared for these nighttime tornadoes. Make sure you have a NOAA weather radio with same technology. Specific area message encoding is what that stands for. Most of these newer smartphones that have been out in the last 5 to 10 years have the capability of receiving wireless emergency alerts from the Weather Service. You may get them from time to time. You may get these amber alerts or silver alerts, and they will also issue weather alerts now from the Weather Service, especially if it's a tornado warning. So make sure your phone is set up to receive those alerts. If you don't know how to do it from the phone itself, you can get a third-party app that allows for alerts to be issued to your phone whenever there's a warning that's been issued in your area. It actually checks the geolocation of your phone, and your phone company will blast out the alert as needed.
WB4GBI.
I know, Ken, it's killing me, this itchy nose. So definitely check your apps and check your smartphone alert settings to see that you get those warnings. Don't rely on tornado sirens. We don't have very many tornado sirens here in East Tennessee. They just implemented them in Sevier County. I know that. And I know Oak Ridge has had sirens for the longest time, but I don't know if they've ever activated them for tornadoes. Somebody who lives there may have more knowledge of it than I do. But and definitely have a plan for getting shelter if a tornado warning is issued. Have a safe place to go, and in that safe place, like I said, have your go kit with flashlights, water, have an HT, handy talkie for radio, have AM/FM radio for listening to in case of an emergency. And Ken just brought up a good point. Another reason some people don't hear the sirens or the alerts or the tornadoes or the wind or the chaos going outside is they may have hearing loss. My mother, along with oxygen, she has a hearing issue, so she doesn't like to keep her hearing aids in when she's asleep. So that's another factor to consider as well. Thanks for bringing that up, Ken. So with that, I will conclude that part of the presentation. Any comments or suggestions or anything additional to what I've discussed so far on nighttime tornadoes, K4HSM, WX4TOS, District 5 SKYWARN Training Net? Itchy nose, itchy nose. All right, nothing heard. We'll stand by for any late check-ins. This is WX4TYS, K4HSM, standing by for any late check-ins. I did get somebody out, Chris.
This is Whiskey Quebec 4, Echo Alpha Sierra. Late checking in. Evening, Greg.
WQ4EAS, Whiskey Quebec 4, Echo Alpha Sierra, thank you, and appreciate you checking in. You're in Loudoun County, right?
Roger. About halfway between Lenore City and Dixie Lee Junction up on the hill.
Roger, I thought so. All right, thank you much, and got you checked in. And Chris, KQ4WYC, I got him checked in. I believe he's up in Claiborne County. I'll confirm that, but he checked in with me on my smartphone. Any other late check-ins? WX4TYS. All right, nothing heard. Just right at just over an hour. So thanks again, everybody, for checking in. We had about 18, and yeah, about 18 check-ins. So pretty impressive, and we appreciate it. And we thank everybody for checking in. We go back through for the map here, or for the calendar. Our next training net is presumably May the 3rd, Sunday, May the 3rd. It will be at 8 o'clock Eastern on this frequency. And so with that, I want to thank everybody for checking in tonight. Hopefully you've got some useful information out of it. And we'd like to thank Tim Berry, WB4GBI, for the use of the repeater, as always. And we will now return this repeater back to normal use. 7-3s, everybody. This is K4HSM, signing off as WX4TYS, returning the repeater to normal use. Have a great evening. All right. So just confirming that. All right. So yeah, I'd like to thank everybody for checking in tonight and checking in with us on the chat. I'm sorry, Electric Boogaloo. I'm trying to remember who you are. So, but thanks for the check-in. Anyway, see, I had something. Oh, yeah, there's something I was going to mention here. I did want to mention it on the net, but I'll save it for next month. There is a GMRS SKYWARN group that has gotten started, and they're basically kind of a go-between. So for those people out there that have GMRS licenses but do not have ham radio licenses, there's been an effort to do SKYWARN in East Tennessee here on GMRS. It's not a competition. I don't consider it a competition. I don't think it should be treated as a competition. I think that the more eyes to the sky, the better. SKYWARN is not a ham radio program. It is a public service program. SKYWARN is just, people associate it to ham radio because we have such a good working relationship with the National Weather Service. So, we don't have any kind of competitive agenda with GMRS. That's not what it's about. But they are organizing something. It's on one of Tim Berry's GMRS repeaters, and I cannot think of that repeater right off the top of my head. Let me see if I can get that for us here real quick. Okay. But yeah, the GMRS group that is running that, I honestly, I cannot remember their ham radio calls, but I do have a GMRS license myself. I'm officially WRQD 813, but I've only used it sparingly when on GMRS. And it's when you're doing a SKYWARN net, it is very hard to divvy up your time as it is. I mean, you're watching a Slack channel for updates and reports. I'm getting traffic from one, maybe two repeaters, and I'm getting messages on my cell phone, on my computer. I'm getting inundated with a lot of information about what's going on. I get text messages from a lot of family members about what's going on in their neighborhoods. So I get that. I get text messages from friends. I get text messages from a lot of people. But it's just adding an element of GMRS to it. It's not that I don't want to. It's just that there's already so much that overwhelms me when it comes to data and information that it's very hard to get that that element of it to be able to monitor. So I would like to have a better relationship with those folks, so that and what they're doing, what they're trying to do is they're relaying information from our nets on the 694 repeater, and if they get a report, they'll try and relay it to us on our SKYWARN nets, because I don't think they have a direct line to the National Weather Service like I do. So I'm all for that, and I'm all for that kind of working relationship. It is the I think it's this one. It's 462.675. That's 462.675. And I think that is Tim Berry's repeater. It's got, I don't know if it's got an active tone on it. If it does, it's probably going to be 118.8, because that's the typical tone that he uses for a lot of his repeaters. So if you do have a little bit of time, I was going to say they've got something here on Facebook, but it was for Hamfest for last year, so unfortunately it does not apply here. But if you do have a GMRS license but do not have a ham radio license, tune in to 462.675. If you're in the Sevierville, Knox, Sevier, Blount County area of East Tennessee, maybe into the Jefferson County area as well, you may be able to get this repeater and be able to listen to it for severe weather. So we'll talk about that next month as well. I'll kind of go into a little bit more. I'll dive a little bit more into that, because I know there are some that have both licenses. I have GMRS and ham radio, but there may be some that have GMRS but just haven't had the time or the whatever you would call it to take a ham radio exam. But anyway, with that, I will go ahead and sign off here. I hope everyone has a great week ahead and a great rest of your April. It's been pretty quiet. The weather's been pretty calm. So it's definitely a thanks, Ken. Thanks for the info there. But yeah, we do need liaisons. But anyway, weather seems to be a little bit calm down here in Tennessee. And hopefully Ohio is the same there for you, Ken. But with that, we'll say 7 threes, and we will talk to you soon. And again, May 3rd will be our next scheduled net. So stay tuned for that. Take care.